boy. You fucking got it.
God, it's bad in there. It's horrible. So last night we had a little date night of seafood, like salmon, a little bit of little necks and all that good stuff, like we always do. Nice and lean, healthy, amazing tasting. But we were tired as shit, especially me. I was so beat up. I burned the candle at both ends. Basically overtrained myself this week. It was my own damn fault. And I was just so damn exhausted it hit me. So we ended up going to bed without cleaning up. We figured we'd clean up first thing this morning. But it's seafood. So we came downstairs and it smells like low tide mixed with garbage. It's the worst smell in the world. I forgot it's not steak. So mission today is clean all that up. Now with that, I actually did cheat a little bit on my diet. I ended up having 6 cookies. And I ended up having one glass, just one glass of Ariana's wine before I went to bed to help me sleep. And it wasn't to be a total asshole. Basically what happened is I've been training hard as shit, following my own program, powerlifting and bodybuilding, but been adding upper body days like I told you. So I've been smashing upper body 3 times a week, but I've been going really heavy and really high volume every one of these days, and then doing cardio 6 days a week on top of it too. And that's normally fine, but my calories are lower now. And I'm not blasting a million drugs either, so I really can't be doing that. So I ended up overtraining myself a little bit, and I felt that I was doing cardio yesterday, got 30 minutes in, I had to stop. I just felt depleted as shit, so I said fuck it. I had a few of her cookies. I did cancel out the rest of my fats and carbs for that night to compensate a little bit, so I probably only went up just a couple of 100 calories of carbs extra. But I woke up this morning, it paid off, my body soaked it up. I woke up this morning a half a pound lighter than I was yesterday, and really tight looking. And I slept until 10:30 for the first time in ages. My body clock wakes me up at 8:30 lately. I slept till 10:30, so that's how you know my body really just needed the extra little carbs and sleep. So I don't recommend straying off your diet. In the future, I'm just gonna plan my training a little bit better, and we'll get into how I'm gonna do that. But that little mini unplanned refeed ended up doing me some good. So Dan confirmed that we're just gonna eat today business as usual. We're not gonna change anything, especially since yesterday they didn't throw anything off. And in fact, if things continue to feel this way, we might take yesterday and run with it and start throwing in one high carb day in the week, turn it into a carb cycling, which might be a good idea. So first meal of the day, eating at 3:30 p.m., oatmeal, chicken, almonds, greens, the works. And normally if you throw off your diet, even if it doesn't work out the way it worked out for me, best plan of action is usually just to jump right back onto your regular diet. Don't try to cut anything out the next day to compensate for it. Just usually leads to a snowball effect of negative things. How genius is this? I jerry-rigged this thing the other day. It's a cardboard flat rate box with 2 coat hangers weaved through the sides and then a metal wire here. And I did it for Ariana's viewing pleasure while she does cardio. Just because some designs of these things don't have a platform for phones. Bam, look at that. Genius. So really fucking cool news. I'm able to add more and more weight on the pressing machines, man. So, and the shoulder's still feeling great. Knock on wood. So today I worked up a bunch of sets of 12 with 2 plates and then 2 1/4, really just focusing on squeezing the chest. Pain-free. So happy about that, man. And I did like 6 sets on the flat and then like 5 or 6 on the incline pressing. So amped, man. And today, I'm doing my regular upper body session, but we're switching things up for arms to help out that recovery issue I mentioned earlier. Now let me preface this by saying my lean strength program, without trying to brag, is fucking perfect. If you are cutting, you want to get strong, maintain strength, and build your physique at the same time, that requires a perfect balance, and I've mastered that balance. I ran it 4 fucking times before making it live, and if you look at my testimonials on Instagram, it's gotten so many people insane results. It's a balance of volume, frequency, building up intensity, gradually acclimating your central nervous system, and balancing both hypertrophy for bodybuilding as well as hypertrophy / strength for strength. My issue is I'm straying off of that balance by adding in these extra upper body days. So to compensate, I'm throwing in some blood flow restriction training, dog. Using the gangster wrist wraps around my arms, it cuts off blood flow, building up blood in your arms. And this is a pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty old. I probably don't have to explain it. Most of you are probably aware of it. I'm sure a lot of you are going to be heated that I'm even doing it. You're going to be like, this is proven to be bullshit. Listen, I've done it and it works very well for me. Basically, it just forces that blood into your arms. It forces oxygen and nutrients into the muscle via crazy blood flow in your arms. And the long story short of it is you can get this insane pump and work your arms incredibly with a very, very light weight because of the blood flow restriction. So you can use very light weights, 20-pound dumbbells for curls or whatever. And this saves your body the taxation of heavy weights. And you don't think of arms as being much, but honestly, it's been the upper body days that have beaten me up the most just because, like I said, the strength portion of it is perfectly balanced. We're walking this fine line of making gains while in a caloric deficit. It's very easy to stray over that line when you're in a caloric deficit. So this is a cool little alternative to keep some volume in there when you're playing catch up like I am on upper body, without burning yourself out. Alright guys, so I'm laying low this week because we're traveling later on in this week to Texas to link up with the boys. So I figured I'd switch it up and I'd talk with you guys for a little bit. So on Instagram, I told you to ask me questions and let's chat. Here we go. Daily supplements, please. What I've shown you already, man. Just pre-workout and whey protein some of the days. And then, like I said, I'll throw in BCAAs as long as I have it for free. But again, not something worth spending money on. Will you use a different coach for peak week? Hell no. Why would I? Dan's a genius. Do you plan prioritizing a specific body part in this cut? Sort of. I'm really hitting my chest and shoulders extra hard, but only because I hadn't been able to train upper body leading up to this cut. So I'm just kind of playing catch up with that. But everything's getting balanced out really well. Best movement in your opinion for traps? I mean, probably shrugs if I had to pick one, but honestly, my traps are pretty decent and it's just from back day and deadlift day, honestly. Indirectly, they get hit a lot. What do you do with all your footage after you've posted it on YouTube? Delete it. I don't understand why. And I feel like I'm gonna eat my own words at some point and regret saying this, but I've been in YouTube for like, what, a decade? And I still don't understand why people save their footage. I know a lot of them save it on extra hard drives or whatever. I don't get why. I've never once ever wished I saved it. And if I ever need to like refer back to a video, like pull a clip from an old video, I just go back and re-download that video from my YouTube channel. So I delete everything the second it's uploaded. But make sure you delete it after you uploaded it, because the worst thing is when you go to clear your camera card and then you realize, oh shit, I never imported that one clip. Would you ever do a vegan day of eating? I would if I was linking up with a vegan, like I was collaborating with someone who's vegan and then they kind of took me through it. That'd be cool. That'd be the only way I can see doing it. I don't think I'd go out of my way to go shopping. Rockstar or 3D? Man, it's kind of a toss-up, honestly. You know, Rockstar Pure Zero is the only good one, by the way. Not regular Rockstar. Both are wins. Business goals. What are you doing to achieve them? So I have a few things going on with business. I think people know this by now. Like YouTube is really like my smallest source of income, and that's how it is for most YouTubers. So you hear everyone obsess about YouTube views and how much money you're making on YouTube, and they go to Social Blade to try and guess, and it's like, in the fitness industry anyway, YouTube is always the smallest. It's the other stuff we get going from that, and my website right now is doing really good, knock on wood. What I really want to do is get involved in something of my own that's outside of YouTube. So I have my hands in things that are outside of YouTube, silent partner and clothing line and all that, but I really want something to focus on that's my own baby for outside of YouTube, so I can kind of graduate from this YouTube into that. And I genuinely enjoy doing this, so I'd still do it, but just something new to focus on 100% of. And the only problem is I'm fucking stumped. Because you gotta be honest with yourself, man. And like, you know, I tried clothing twice, and Made Athletics was awesome. But Made Athletics, clothing's just not for me, and Ariana agrees. It's just, that's not my interest, man. You look at all like the little details like Max does with his clothing line, the zippers and all those nuance. Like, I would have no interest in learning that and applying that. And the clothes are just not for me. So my thing is like, I want to get into something new, but I just gotta figure out what the fuck I want to actually do, because that's key. Don't dive into something just because it makes money. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. So I'm not complaining, I'm very comfortable right now. I'm loving life. Life is amazing. But just as far as passion-wise, I'd like to find something new to throw my passion into now at this stage of my life. So hopefully I'll figure that the fuck out. Are you going to get a golden doodle like every other YouTuber? No, because I'm not going to get a dog or a pet. Like, I barely want to take care of myself, let alone take care of another living being. That's why I don't want kids. Like, I just want to take care of myself. Like, imagine you're just chilling on TV, like watching TV, or you're chilling, like doing work, you're in the zone editing, and suddenly you hear your dog clawing at the door because he has to go out. You gotta stop everything you're doing, walk down a flight of fucking stairs, let him out, and then depending on where you live or how trained he is, you might have to go outside with him on a leash. Like, fuck that. That's like asking me to run a marathon. I'm super selfish and lazy. Do you still keep in contact with Boston and Lloyd? Are you guys still friends? Hell yeah. I talk to Boston a lot, very regularly, just about this and that. I was supposed to film something with him in December, and then he didn't end up making it up to Rhode Island. What's your goal in fitness? Helping people or growing your brand? I think they go hand in hand. My goal is growing my brand. I think anyone who says otherwise, who is actually pushing success. I mean, you might run into a trainer who just trains at his own studio gym, just very local, low-key setup. He might be genuine when he says he only cares about helping others, and that's fucking awesome. But anybody you see actually pushing like any sort of a major brand for themselves at all, even if it's just themselves, yeah, they care about growing their brand, first and foremost. But the thing is, you do that, in my opinion, you do that by helping people. When you bring value to people's lives, that's what gets them to cling on to you and helps you grow. So I think it's very evident from my videos, I genuinely enjoy helping people. I love talking nutrition. I love talking training. I love sharing all this shit for free. And I even have a service on my site now where you can hire me to coach you through a specific strength lift. Like, I'm working with a few different people. One person hit me up. He had really good squat form in general, had some lower back pain and some knee pain, and I've been helping him tweak his squats. Same thing with another guy who has hit me up. He hired me for deadlifts, and his deadlift looks pretty good. It's what like your average Joe trainer would probably say is good form. But he wanted to improve it even more, so we've been picking it apart at a more advanced level now. So like, I love that stuff. I love helping people out, and I think they go hand in hand. You bring value to people, and that will make you grow because you have something worth sharing. Do you ever plan on hitting a 500 bench without gaining a lot of weight? Nah. I'm pretty much done with benching as far as I'm concerned. Now, that might just be the shoulder talking. I've been out of commission with benching for a while, but the funny thing is, man, I just have not missed it. I thought I would. I haven't at all. I think because benching was always such an uphill battle for me and just so against my structure and build, and I just grinded my ass off for 10 years to finally hit that 4-plate bench, and I nailed it with a beautiful comp pause and everything, and then I dieted down and hit it again at a lower weight class. So I hit my goal, man. I know that's kind of silly. It's like you hit one goal, keep moving forward. And the plan was to try to aim for like a 425 eventually, but then the shoulder came, took me out of commission, and bench was the only thing causing it. So at the moment, I really just don't miss it. That might be negative, but I think right now it's actually a decent way to think. It's either that or you get negative and wallow about it. From your opinion, what's the reason behind your YouTube views going down? Well, you guys can probably tell me better than I can tell you, but a few guesses, a few factors, I think. One is just simply that a YouTube channel lifespan is typically not very long. I've exceeded what it should be, and I'm still on. So I'm very happy with that. And I try to look at it in perspective too, because I'm like, I get really bummed about the views sometimes. You know, a video might get like 15,000 views, like what the fuck? Because I used to get like 65,000 views during like the comeback series. But you think about that, that's still like, what is Madison Square Garden? Like 20,000 people, I think it fits, or something like that. You know, so it's still like a major stadium worth of people. Well, it depends. Is Madison Square Garden a stadium? It's still a good concert. It's a good concert level of people. We're not talking WrestleMania Stadium, of course, but that's a lot of people. The other thing is, I think I kind of fucking shot my own foot by switching so much, because I would be into bodybuilding. That's what most people started following me in. Then I switched heavy into powerlifting. And then I blended both of them. Now I'm blending them. I'm not switching to one or the other. I'm blending them. But people really like having one thing to glue onto. And you see it too. Like if I put a video out right now that says I hit a 700-pound deadlift, and it could just be titled, Nick Wright, 700-pound deadlift, it'll get shit for views. Horrible views. Like people don't give a fuck about the weights being lifted by me anymore directly like that. If they happen to see it, then they get into it and they comment, but the clicks won't be there. But then it's like you see channels like Omar Isuf, who's just been very consistent with his lane. He did a video the other day, it was like squatting heavy with Alan Thrall. It's like the most boring title in the world and like the most boring thumbnail. And the views were like nice and healthy. They were right up there. They were nice and high. Same with like Strength Cartel. Big Boy will post like a 7-plate deadlift. A lot of views. And then same with the bodybuilding side, I'll post like a physique update and like show my physique in it, and like those used to do really, really well, and now those get nothing but views either. And I think I've just fucking confused my own following way too much. I get the powerlifting side invested, and then I show some bodybuilding shit and they don't care, and vice versa. That is my best guess. And then the other thing I've done that hasn't helped myself is I've stayed secluded for sure. Like I haven't gotten out in collab, which I'm looking to turn around. So while I'm doing this cut, I'm heading out to Texas this week actually. And just linking back up with friends again, man. Getting active again in the scene. So hopefully we can do something about that. Fingers crossed. If you guys do want to help though, feel free to share a video of mine that you particularly like anytime. What are your tips to maintaining muscle mass while cutting? Diet slowly. Drop that caloric deficit just gradually, just by a hair. 300 calories, 500 at most. And hang there as long as you can. Stay at that level of calories until that scale completely stops for like a consistent 2 weeks, and then you know you've plateaued, then drop it down just a little bit more. Keep the calories as high as you can for as long as you can, and cut slow. So I'm doing this cut a little faster because it's for a competition, but you saw it last summer. I cut for 6 months. Went from 206 to 174 in 6 months. I'm gonna knock that out now in 13 weeks. But I'm gonna take a little bit of a hit as far as muscle mass and strength goes. And that's fine. That's how stage prep goes. As long as I come in diced, that's what matters. But yeah, just cut real slow, man. Current favorite fitness YouTuber? Really good question, man. I was really obsessed with Larry Wheels for a very long time until he switched to the strongman stuff. And no knock on strongman. I think strongman is the dopest sport. Those guys are so damn entertaining, and I love watching that shit, without a doubt. It's just weird. I think because I just glued to Larry's powerlifting training so hard, because it was my first impression of him and it's what I do, I fell so hard in love with Larry's powerlifting training that now seeing him do the log stuff is still fucking cool. I'll still keep up on it. But it doesn't get me, like I'm not rushing to his channel anymore. I'll go and see it and it'll be like log press, and I'm like, I'll watch that later on. So now I'm kind of stuck. I don't really have, I'll check up on my boy Max's channel. I'll keep on Christian's channel because they're my friends and stuff like that. But I don't really have a channel at the moment that I'm obsessed with, because I don't really watch fitness channels to begin with. Larry was like the only one I really was hooked on. Yeah, so. What has been your favorite sponsorship over the years? I have to be very honest, Isatory was probably my favorite one just because it was a dream situation. So when I was young, one of my goals was to have a sponsor. It was like one of my dreams, when you're young. And especially when I was young, that was back before the age of social media. So really sponsors were a huge deal. This is before you could become self-made with Instagram and run a business off of your phone with Shopify app. And my dream was to be able to go on tour and like do meet and greets with fans with a hot girlfriend by my side. I'm not even kidding, that was part of the dream, and here we are with Ariana. Fast forward, Isatory does that. They get me under contract. That was my first contract too. And it wasn't a big one, man. It was like, it was like 1,000, maybe 2,000 a month, I think, flat rate guaranteed, and then some commission and stuff like that. But man, the opportunities were so dope. I got to go to every fucking show, LA Fit, Orlando, Europa, Olympia, Arnold. And then at those, we did cool ass events. I love public speaking. They gave me opportunities to public speak at all these seminars that they'd host. And then just the opportunities they hooked us up with. Like I got to meet Arnold Schwarzenegger through them. I got to do that photo shoot for the Comeback series through them. They put us up in the most beautiful places. That gigantic villa Ariana and I stayed at in Vegas. Poolside drinks and all that. I can't even tell you that, training with Brian Shaw, it was a dream come true, man. It was what I dreamed of as a young kid getting into fitness, wanting to make a name for myself. That was the dream situation. I got brought around for meet and greets, got to meet all you guys that way, and got to meet a lot of great names in the sport, go everywhere, stay in the most beautiful places. It was just so damn cool. And finally, after 2 years, I did a whole video. Just look up Nick Wright Ice Tour. I can't remember what I titled it, but after 2 years, we negotiated renewing the contract, and they wanted me to, and I wanted to too, but the problem was Steve, the original CEO, he stepped down. A lot of the originals stepped down. A lot of corporate GNC took over. They kind of merged GNC a little bit. It became public, got its own IPO and stuff like that. A lot of new guys came around, and they really wanted to change the system and structure up a lot. Like one of the things they want me to do was start running to various stores, like GNC stores, and setting up tables and doing demos there, where you stand there for 3 hours and give samples out and talk to customers about the product. And it's like, That's what I started doing for RTN when I was like 18. Like, I'm past that. And no disrespect, but I've done that. I've paid my dues. I don't want to do that. I don't want to drive hours on end and stand in a shop for 2 or 3 hours when I could instead be working on my own business, making more money than that in a span of a few hours in a day. So it was just little things like that, and we just weren't clicking. So they asked me, like, you can renew, but they'd like you to throw in this, this, and this, and this. And I was like, let's just call it a day. So then they're like, all right, cool. Well, we'll leave your discount code active still and stuff like that, and don't be a stranger. And it was cool, and I still talk to them. And once in a while, they'll still send me stuff. In fact, I'm still using that fucking Morph Extreme, their pre-workout, because I love it. It's dope. So nothing but good memories with that team, man. So damn dope. Have you ever lifted so heavy that you feared you would have a heart attack? No, in my experience, the heart attack feeling usually comes from the cardiovascular stuff. Alright guys, looks like that's all for right now. So, appreciate you watching. Next video might be a little delayed because I'm not going to edit on the road because my laptop is garbage. So, I'm hitting Texas Thursday through Monday. So, once I come home, so probably maybe hopefully Tuesday, I'll have some good footage up for you guys of that trip. So, stay tuned, give the video a thumbs up if you can, and check out the other videos, man. Love you.